today by Mick McCole, who is the previous owner of Fertile. And I'm really looking forward to this one because I don't know much about the history of Fertile and how the business came about. So I'm hoping that Mick can enlighten us on that. So thanks for joining me today, Mick.
All right, thanks, Jody. It's good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I just wanted to start with, so when the boys, Scott and Michael, bought Fertile, how did it come about? Were you the original owner?
No, the original owners date back to 1967. It was Phil and Muriel Cohen.
Yep.
And they started off by repacking Osmocote in their garage in Narre Warren. So it went through as a family business for quite a while. Their son, Ian, and their daughter, Ruth, worked in the business, which eventually got sold to Ian Sylvester and Alan Sylvester. They ran the business for a while. Ruth was still involved, and by this time her husband, Errol, was involved, and he was their computer expert, so to speak. From there, Plantmark purchased Fertile in 2006, and then I bought the business off Plantmark in 2011.
2011, okay.
So then Michael and Scott bought the business in November of 2021.
Yeah, so you had it for a while.
Yeah, it was just on 10 years.
Yeah. So obviously the industry has changed a lot, and I'm even noticing the industry changing a lot over the last couple of years. But tell me, so what is your knowledge of like the history when maybe the first owners, there was a period of time when Fertile was huge. Is that right? Yeah.
Well, Fertile started off selling the bigger bags of Osmocote to production nurseries. And then they were the first people worldwide to start putting them into little margarine type containers. So they were, world leaders in that regard. And now Osmocote in little tubs is available worldwide. They picked up a lot of other agencies along the way, but the transition, we've seen lots of things. The advent of 7-day-a-week trading through the 90s. So that changed the landscape a hell of a lot. And then we've got the arrival of the big box retailers, which changed it again. So it's had quite a few different hurdles thrown up, and the way the market changes constantly, was challenges for the company.
So when did you notice the big box retailers come in? Like around what kind of era was that? Was that before you took over or after?
No, it was well before. It was the early 2000s.
Okay.
So that's when, I think McEwen's went into liquidation, and that's when Bunnings entered the scheme. You also had BBC Hardwares, which eventually Bunnings ended up acquiring as well.
Okay. And so where did the trademark Bromax come from? Was that yours or previous?
No, that was previous. I think it's always been a logo that Fertile have held since the early 80s, I think, 1980s.
Okay.
So it was just one that we've kept going, and is still around today, which is good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's probably one of our biggest sellers now is definitely, the Gromax trademark, which is just awesome, just getting that out there in the market and letting people know about it. Okay, so when you had Fertile, what was your main market share? Was it nurseries or landscapers?
It was still nurseries, but then we also had a couple of trade outlets that we provided products to, being Dinsan and Plantmark. So that was really marketing direct to landscapers who were going there to source products.
Okay. And were you open to the public?
No,
No. Okay.
we were
So
wholesale only.
yeah,
Yeah.
wholesale only. Okay. And so at your highest point, how many employees would you have had?
Highest point, we would have had 6 employees.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that was all out of the factory in Dandenong, is that right?
That's correct,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome.
Prior to that, probably before the introduction of 7-day-a-week trading and the big box retailers, Fertile probably turned over in the early 2000s close to $15 million annually.
Wow.
And that was selling mainly to a lot of production nurseries with the Osmocote.
Yeah.
That agency sort of went downhill in the mid 2000s, where other players entered the market and distributorships were passed on to other people.
So when you decided to sell, was that because you wanted to retire?
Yeah, there was a bit of that. It was a bit of retirement, and also I had a undiagnosed medical condition at the time, so
Yeah.
I needed to spend my energies looking after my own health. So it was a bit of.
And how did it come about? Did you know Scott and Michael, or being in the industry, or did they find you? How did that end up happening?
No, I've known Scott and Michael for 30 odd years.
Mm-hmm.
A connection through cricket club. I'm that little
Which
bit older.
one?
It was East Box Hill Cricket Club. So I was a senior player there when the boys were coming through junior levels and then on to their senior cricket. So I've known them for quite a while.
They certainly love their sports, don't they? Both of them.
Oh, yes, it's a very sporting orientated family. So.
Yeah, and very competitive, I'll tell you that. It's just we had a bowling night at the end of the financial year, and it was great. It was great fun, but oh my goodness, the competitiveness of all of them was actually quite interesting to watch. But I didn't come last. That was pretty good.
Yeah, well, the competitive is, yeah, it's on the field, but it's also the sibling rivalry.
Oh yeah,
They certainly
yeah.
don't want the other to outdo them.
Yeah, who do you think out of Scott and Michael thinks that they're the boss?
They both would.
See, no, I don't know about that. I reckon Michael does.
Yeah,
But no, it's pretty funny. It's actually really nice to see the rivalry, and I actually really love it when their dad, Ange, who is turning 80 shortly, comes in, and we have some great conversations. He's just a beautiful person, and you know he helps those boys out like you wouldn't believe. So amazing.
very community orientated too. Through the years, just as a parent helping out around the sporting clubs, Ange was just incredible. So.
Yeah, he's an amazing person. I really love talking to him.
Also, their grandfather, Bill Hunter, used to be involved as well, and he was a terrific bloke as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? It was actually funny. I said to Ange a couple of weeks ago, I said, do you know, and I won't tell you which son, but I said, do you know that your son speaks to me very badly? And he said, yes. He goes, I've taught him everything he knows. So he thought he was quite funny. And
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting, I said to him, I said, Ange, I wasn't expecting that from you.
Yeah.
But no, he's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. So the settlement happened, and then did you stay on for a little while after that?
I stayed on for a month or 6 weeks after that.
Yeah.
And then I just would drop in occasionally, and Michael or Scott would give me a ring at any stage. We've always had an open door policy, even to this day. So.
Yeah, no, I've certainly picked your brains over the last 12 months of a lot of things, which has been really good. So I started with them in October last year. And yeah, I know that you and I have definitely had some great conversations about the industry, and yeah, you've helped me out a lot, which has been great.
Well, it's good
Yeah,
anytime. Yeah.
thank you.